So we'll go ahead and call this meeting into session, and friends, you'll remember this morning that there was a change to the agenda. And so at this time, I'm asking for the approval of the school board agenda.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck.
Second.
Second by Ms. Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, so that takes us down to public comment, and Ms. Mary, I don't think we have any cards, all right. Section 6 was committee and staff reports for workshop only, and then Section 7 is the consent agenda, and so I'm asking for such a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? No discussion, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Takes us down to Section 8, Superintendent's Human Resources Recommendations. 8.1 and 8.2 were information only. 8.3, Employment Separations, presented by Dr. Hale. Need a motion.
Move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's no discussion. Let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.4, Personnel Recommendations, presented by Dr. Hale. Need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck.
Second.
Second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 8.5, Employee Transfers, again presented by Dr. Hale. Need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And then 8.6, Leave Without Pay, presented again by Dr. Hale. Need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. There were no items moved to discussion agenda, and that brings us to Section 10, Construction Program Owners Representatives Business. Mr. Bryant, sir.
Thank you, Dr. White. And as I mentioned this morning, I was going to wait until the next workshop to do a presentation, but I forgot that my schedule that day I'll be on my way to Washington, D.C. representing the school board at the Florida School Boards Association's federal liaison trip to Washington, D.C. So I'll go ahead and do a rundown of our meeting today, which lasted about 3 hours. So we had a lot of information to go through, but I promise my review will not last 3 hours.
Ball game on tonight.
Just send us the cliff notes, okay?
But I am going to go over just a few of the task orders, and task order number 12 is the district-wide sales tax construction projects, and of course, everybody we've talked about the multi-purpose buildings, and I'll start with Fort Walton Beach High School, as that will be our first one that we'll have finished. And it's just some notes here. FPL energized the transformer, and the HVAC equipment was commissioned. The building is operating under permanent power with the HVAC system functioning, and the interior accent color painting is ongoing. I think we said, if I'm not mistaken, around October that should be completed. Am I correct, Mr. Horton? And then Crestview High School is right behind there with sectional roll-up doors were installed, casework was installed, transformer mechanical equipment pads were installed, interior accent color painting is ongoing in the multi-purpose room, gypsum board finishing and painting in the rest of the building is ongoing. Ms. Evancheck, I know you'll like this. Baker School is up and going, and the drywall installation and finishing is ongoing. Brick veneer installation was completed. Interior accent color painting is ongoing in the multi-purpose room. The gypsum board finishing and painting in the rest of the building is ongoing. Window installation began. Forming of exterior ramps, stairs has begun, and new sidewalks were placed at the connections to the existing campus classroom ramps. And installation of new fire protection water supply piping, hydrants, and backflow preventer was completed. Interior fire protection system piping is installed and painted.
Okay, where are you reading that?
This is what I have. This is my
Notes.
this
Okay.
is my notes that I
Okay.
So we have the Reader's Digest version.
Okay.
yes, you have the
Because I didn't get past
the
the-
Joel,
She's just a searching.
Over here.
I have the Joel version. Joel makes it easy for me.
Because you said you're gonna be excited about this, I went, oh, well, let me read the list, and I'm like, I'm not finding that one.
At least we know we're not all on the same page.
Okay, so we're not on the same page,
Yeah,
okay, all
okay.
right, as long as I know that.
These are my talking points. How about that?
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Joel Linder, for helping me out there. Choctawhatchee High School, brick veneer installation began. Interior framing was completed. Interior electrical rough-in is ongoing. Interior fire protection system piping is installed. Niceville High School, of course, that one was one that was a little bit of a challenge to get going, but it is now well underway. Foundations have been placed and slab was formed. Under slab plumbing and electrical rough-in is ongoing in advance of slab placement. Pre-engineered metal building package was delivered to site, so we should start seeing the frame go up. And then Laurel Hill School, even though it's not necessarily the multi-purpose buildings that we are building for the 4 or 5 bigger schools, we are doing a complete remodel of the last original part of the school that was there before the fire got the rest of the school. But the foundations have, the structural wall infill was completed. Interior finishes will begin now that the new roof has been installed and the building is dried in. And I can tell you that that particular building has been pretty cool to see how everything has gone so far, because they're finding all kinds of cool artifacts in the insides of that particular structure. Classroom additions, the Silver Sands project. The school is, those classroom add-ons are well completed, and we already have the students in there. Elliott Point Elementary, that's the next one that will be completed. LVT has been installed in the classroom. Casework installation is complete. Electrical service has been established, and building is operating on permanent power and HVAC. Fencing at transformer and mechanical equipment pads has been installed, and we expect to have students in the middle of October into those classrooms. Crestview High School, classrooms are complete. Installation of network cabling, security systems, and HVAC controls was completed. And I know I talked to Miss Hayden, and it looks like we're going to wait until the beginning of the spring semester to open up those classrooms, but they're well on their way to being completed. In Laurel Hill School, pretty much everything is done there, except we're waiting on an electrical panel breaker and surge suppression installation, and we hope to have those classrooms opened up by the spring semester also. Your cafetoriums, Edwin's Elementary, if you've been by there, you can see the progress of that complex is looking really good. The overhead HVAC, plumbing, and electrical rough-in work began after roof decking was installed. Exterior and interior wall framing began. Overhead fire protection piping installation began. Wright Elementary, overhead HVAC, plumbing, and electrical rough-in work began after roof decking was installed. Ruckle Middle School, the erection of the structural steel frame was complete, including welding of all steel cross members. Roof trusses were installed. Plough Elementary, the elevated slab was placed. The erection of the structural steel frame should begin this week. And if you look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structures that are actually, they have the steel frames going up. Bob Sykes is going to be the last, just because there was a lot of foundation work that needed to be done, a lot of playground equipment that had to be moved, but excavation work has begun on the foundations. And Shalimar Elementary School, the slab form work was installed. Under slab plumbing, rough-in work began. And with that, I'm going to move on over. I know we have a few minutes before our public hearing, but task order number 37. This is the sales tax HVAC programs projects. Our team has met with the school district. And trained personnel to develop the requested design and prepare for a plan for executing the projects. A proposal has been received for the new Crestview High School chiller, and it is being processed early since it is a long lead item. A solution for Mary Esther Elementary has been developed, and the design work has begun. And Fort Walton Beach High School cooling tower proposal is expected this week. And I know, Mr. Chambers, you talk about how we are not patchworking anymore. We're fixing these, and really excited about the HVAC how we're going to move forward, how we're going to replace HVAC at the schools before they actually start falling apart. So the idea is to have a plan in place to fix them, replace them when they're needed, instead of how we're doing it now. Beforehand is where they fall apart, and then we have to order them and all. So really excited about how we're progressing with that. And with that, Dr. White, that covers pretty much everything.
That's all. Thank you, Mr. White. Any questions or thoughts, colleagues?
A lot of great work.
37 task orders, and actually we got 2 more we're going to be adding on, so that's pretty exciting. So
Well, I really appreciate all the time and effort you spend on this.
Thank you.
And also your remarks about air conditioning systems, because I remember that this time of year, or a little earlier, I would have struggles every year with units that would fail. And the kind of heat that we've had and the kind of usage they've been getting, it'll be a good thing to get all that done, as you said.
Right. Well, and when I got on the school board, Fort Walton Beach was in the middle of like an 8-year project to get all their air conditioners done. So it's exciting now we have a plan in place to fix them before they get to that point. And hopefully, like our bus fleet, we'll have a sturdy fleet of air conditioning units. So.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you, sir. So, Mr. Attorney, your business?
No business tonight.
All right. Superintendent, anything you'd like to add tonight?
Well, I think you heard many of the updates that we gave this morning, and I just would say, though, again, you think about where we are right now. It's 9/11. Today's a significant day, and the further we got through this day, to seeing the more activities that took place throughout the school district. So again, just very proud. As you know, it's a busy time of the year, but the schools understand the significance of this day and what it means for our community, our students, and the country as a whole. So again, that's something that I'm extremely proud of. And then to say, we are already almost at the halfway point of the first 9 weeks. So you think about that. And before we know it, it's going to be October. We'll be at the end of the first 9 weeks. But things are going by quickly, but things are going by very well. I'm just proud of the work that our administrators, teachers, and staff are doing.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, colleagues, well, I've got 6:14, and of course, as you know, at 6:15, we have several public hearings coming up. And Mr. McInnes, I think as we discussed, these items are being presented by Ms. Perry, but I'm going to turn it over to you for each item, because I know that you have quite a few items.
Yes,
So
sir.
let me just go ahead and put the regular meeting in recess, and we will now convene the public hearing section. And so we now are at 15.1, required local effort millage rate of 3.229 mils. And Mr. McInnes, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, sir. Each of these we will ask the board to vote on separately and then in total. So the first item, 15.1, is the required local effort millage, and that's at 3.2290 mils.
Is there anyone here tonight to comment on this particular item? All right, friends, seeing none, I need a motion.
So moved. Excuse me. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
Second.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 15.2, Mr. McInnes.
15.2, basic discretionary operating millage rate of 0.7480 mils.
Anyone here tonight to discuss this item? Seeing none, I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Mrs. Gardner.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's no discussion, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
15.3, sir.
15.3 is the capital outlay millage rate of 1.500 mils.
Anyone here tonight wishing to discuss this item? Seeing none, is there any discussion, board members? All right, so let's call the question. Let's vote. All in favor?
Need a motion.
Whoop.
I'll make a motion.
Back up. Motion by Mr. Bryant,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Evancheck. Now, is there any discussion? Since there's none, let's call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. All right, 15.4, Mr. McKinnis.
15.4 is the total millage levy of 5.4770 mills.
Is there anyone here to discuss this item? All right, seeing none, I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
15.5.
15.5 is Resolution 22-08, adopting the millage rates for fiscal year 2023-2024.
Anyone here to discuss this item? Since there's none, I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion here? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.6.
15.6 is the Okaloosa County School District Budget General Fund for fiscal year 2023-2024 in the amount of $404,665,326.70.
Anyone here to discuss this item? Since there are none, I need a motion, please.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck,
Second.
second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion at the table? Since there's none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.7.
15.7 is Okaloosa County School District Budget Special Revenue Funds Food Service for fiscal year 2023-2024 in the amount of $25,025,083.87.
Anyone here to speak to this item? Since there are none, I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion at the table? All right, seeing none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. We've only got 10 more to go. 15.8, Mr. McKinnis.
15.8, Okaloosa County School District Budget Special Revenue Funds Other Federal Programs Fund 420 in the amount of $26,987,218.79.
Anyone here to speak to this item? There are none, so I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion at the table? All right, since there's none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.9.
15.9 is Okaloosa County School District Budget Special Revenue Funds, ERRSA Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief 2, ESSER 2, Fund 443 for fiscal year 2023-2024, and that's in the amount of $305,969.19.
Thank you. Anyone here to discuss this item? Since there are none, I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck,
Second.
second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion at the table? All right, there's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.10, Mr. McKinnis.
15.10, Okaloosa County School District Budget Special Revenue Funds, ARP, Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief 3, ESSER 3, Fund 445 for 23-24 in the amount of $4,301,136.66.
Thank you, sir. Anyone to discuss this item? Since there are none, I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion here? All right, there's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.11, Mr. McKinnis.
15.11, Okaloosa County School District Budget Special Revenue Funds, Other ARP Act Relief, Fund 446 for fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $499,823.85.
Anyone here tonight to discuss this item? There are none, so I need a motion.
Move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion at the table? All right, there's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.12.
15.12, Okaloosa County School District Budget Special Revenue Funds, Miscellaneous Internal Funds, Fund 490 for fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $18,606,000 $64.73.
Anyone here to discuss this item? There are none, so I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Either
second
way.
by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion at the table? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.13.
Okaloosa County School District budget, debt service funds for fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $21,563,393.19.
Anyone here to discuss this item? There are none, so we need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? All right, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 15.14.
15.14, Okaloosa County School District budget, capital project funds for fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $201,606,988.61.
Anyone here to discuss this item? There's none, so we need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner. Need a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries 4-0. 15.15.
15.15, Okaloosa County School District budget, internal service funds for fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $43,890,709.97.
Thank you. Anyone here to discuss this item? There's none, so we need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck,
Second.
second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? There's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.16.
15.16, Okaloosa County School District budget for fiscal year 23-24. This is the total budget, the amount of $747,451,715.56.
Thank you, sir. Anyone here to discuss this item? There's none, so we need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? All right, there's none, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. 15.17, Mr. McInnes.
15.17 is Resolution 23-09, adopting the Okaloosa County School District budget for fiscal year 23-24.
Anyone here to discuss this item? There's none, so we need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second.
second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion here?
That's a big number. Can I just say that?
That may be the biggest that I ever remember.
I was gonna say, that's gotta be the biggest budget this district has ever had.
That's right. All right, so I guess we're ready to call the
Vote,
question.
yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. All right, so we'll close the public hearings and we'll reconvene our regular meeting. And we've got to scroll back up there to number 13, board members' announcements and requests for information. So I know we did some of this morning, but we'll do it again. Ms. Gardner, anything?
I do not have anything to add from this morning.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Dr. White.
All right, Ms. Evancheck?
I don't have anything to add to that, except I do have a question I wanted to ask. When we had the kindergartners do the free lunch, I put that out on my social media, and I had several individuals come back that I know in other districts that said they are continuing, that they always have free lunch, not just kindergartners, but everybody. And I was just curious, Mr. Chambers, if you knew, this is in Florida, is that because maybe a whole district is Title I, or what that would be? Because I can't imagine they would be continuing to use ESSER, because they said this has been going on for years. So what would that probably be coming from?
Yeah, I'm going to have Mr. Horton come up for this one.
I'm just curious as to how an entire district could be getting,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody gets it.
There's a process through the school districts in which if there's a large portion of free reduced lunch population there, you can go through a process and declare the entire area free reduced lunch. So we track that each year in the school district, and so we know in the south end we have some schools that are high free or reduced lunch population. So it's something we track this year, and it could be something that we apply for down the road.
Because I do believe in the south end it's pretty heavy. Most of our schools do.
Depending on the
qualify.
elementary level, it's more prevalent. The high school students stop, you have to reapply every year, and so they stop doing it when they get there, but we really reach out and try to encourage that to happen.
Okay,
And I can
so-
also get some information or have Steve Anderson come at the next
Yeah,
workshop
I was
just to
just
update us on
curious
that.
because it wasn't just, it was several people that came that work in different districts that came back and said, why is that special? We do
Mm-hmm.
that every day. So I didn't know that. So someone said maybe Title I designation would do that.
Yes, ma'am. So
Okay.
we'll look at that each year.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Ms. Evancho. Mr. Bryant?
Just one follow-up from this morning. You know, we were talking about the 85th edition of the Big Red Machine, and I mentioned that there was one member who was part of the original Big Red Machine, and I did not have her name at the time, but I do now, and her name is Nellie Fleming, and she joined the Crestview Band 85 years ago, and she's was there Friday night at the young age of 97, enjoying the Big Red Machine perform again. It was a great night, but I just wanted to make sure everybody knew who it was. So
That's
Special.
fantastic.
It is.
That's so
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Thank you. I have just a couple of things, and I just wanted to state my appreciation for the presentation that Ms. Lightborn gave today regarding the many activities that our schools are doing regarding Founders Month. And I think, and I know all of you think, that it's vitally important that we teach our young people about our freedoms and rights that are guaranteed by our founders and our founding documents. Also, special thanks to the superintendent and your staff regarding the video tribute to 9/11 that you shared this morning. That was very moving, and I'm grateful for all the time and work that went into that. And then lastly, Choctawhatchee High School students and parents are encouraged to review the September 8th edition of Principal Heck's Tribe Life for important testing details and schedules. And as I think I understood, some of that starts this coming week.
Absolutely.
If I'm not mistaken. So big things going on with testing as usual. So that's all I have. I know there's one more section left, and that will be the information concerning any additional public comment. And I don't think we have any cards. And
I
so-
do have one more thing I want to say.
Sure.
I think we all need to give a round of applause to Julie Perry and this budget. And she can send up a balloon because the budget is done. And thank you so much to you. And I know you're going to say it's a team effort. It is. But there's always that one person that it falls to, and that's you. And you make it, for particularly a person like me that's not so much with the numbers, fairly easy to understand. That is still a really big number in my life, but thank you for that and for getting, having your team. It's actually been, it's a long process that we do, but it's been smooth, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Minchuk. All right, so unless there's anything else from anyone else, this meeting's done. Adjourned.